Hello and welcome, vivacious Virgos. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and I'm here to do your tarot astrology psychic channeling for the month of March 2020. And the news for everyone is that Mercury is still retrograde this month until the 10th. Now, it did go retrograde on the 18th of February. And I should mention to you that there is in fact a thing called the shadow period. So even though I give you these dates, there's still activity before and after. But thankfully, after the 10th, the effects of Mercury retrograde will lessen and lessen day by day. Still, if you have important things to sign around about the 10th or before the 10th of the month, or even just after the 10th of the month, if you can put them off, that would probably be more beneficial. Because what tends to happen when Mercury goes direct is that you have to go back and revisit things that you've signed and change the arrangements get changed in some way. So if you decided you were going to buy a white car, all of a sudden you may decide that you're going to buy a red car, then you have to go back and redo all the paperwork. So those sorts of things can happen. It's also a time when technology plays up, and believe me, I know, because whenever Mercury goes retrograde, I have all manner of issues. But thankfully I've worked them all out now, so we're getting there. So do back up your computers and all your devices as well, so you don't get caught short. There can be misunderstandings and miscommunications. You may feel like you've got an important message to deliver, and yet you can't seem to contact the person you want. Either they're not replying to you, which is super frustrating. I've just had that happen to me. Or they're just not getting your messages, okay? But, you know, you just have to be patient and take a deep breath, okay? Now, Mercury is your ruler, and that means that this is going to be particularly strong for you, vivacious Virgos. Mercury's in your 6th house. This is your everyday routine, your habits, your everyday work could be affected too by the effects of Mercury retrograde. Alrighty, so let's go to the board now and have a look at what's happening for you. First thing I'm going to do is draw 2 cards which will be like themes for the month, okay? We'll have a look at what's happening in the zodiac wheel, and then we'll draw some more tarot cards to sort of give you a fair idea of the energies present for March. All right, so we're looking for key themes for March, that one. Okay, closing my eyes now. Alrighty, look, although I can see some clouds, they are blowing away really quickly. So anything that you sort of strike is likely to be resolved you know, in a quick manner, rather than just going on and causing all sorts of untold damage. So, you know, clouds are useful sometimes, and these ones are travelling, that I can see, are in a blue sky, and they're travelling very fast. So they might look threatening, a little bit of, you know, grey here and there, but nothing to worry about really. Okay, and the card we come up with as a theme for you is the 2 of Wands. All right, now you may have been feeling restricted in some way recently. You can see this stone wall here, but there is in fact a gap. So you can step out of your box, the box that you're in, the restriction, whatever it is that's holding you back. Soon there will be an opening for you if you take action, that is. See, she's wearing red, and she actually has to step over the restriction. There's 2 baseball bats here that are supposed to be floating in the air, I think, like levitating. And this is about, again, about taking action. Work is required. She's holding on to a balloon. That's just a reference to Spirit. Spirit is looking out for you in March, but she's wearing blue, and blue is all about self-expression. So it's important as a theme. Self-expression is what's going to help you across any little stone walls, any little hurdles that you have to jump, okay? And it's not even jumping, it's more stepping over. All right, and looking for the other theme towards the end of the month, and we're going with that one. And I'm closing my eyes now. I get the colour purple, which is a very spiritual colour, so spirit looking out for you. I see some challenges. These are actually rocky sort of outcrops like mountains, and but you're making your way around them. There are ways to get around any obstacles or restrictions or challenges that you face. So, and it actually makes it interesting. It makes life more interesting, even if it might feel just a tad difficult at the time. That just makes you think about what you need to do to overcome the situation, and that's what's going to happen. All right, so here we have the Two of Swords. This is all about your thinking, and it's interesting because you'll see here in the background there are reflections. This relates to reflections in the past. So you can think your way out of trouble. You can cut, dissect and analyse and make a decision to move forward and think your way out of anything that's not 100% perfect for you. Just be aware when you're making those decisions that the past is still there in your decision-making process. So the past is influencing you, and you want to make sure that you're not unduly influenced by these shadows of the past. They're like little ghosts from the past that have just come back while you're making a decision about something important in your life. They're sort of like, when you throw a stone on a pond and you see the ripples that go out from where the stone lands in the water. That's what these are like, the ripples. So the ripples of the past, the time ripples, are coming into your life now, influencing your decision-making process. So that's something to bear in mind. Alrighty, let's have a look here at the horoscope. Okay, so on the 5th of the month, we'll see Venus here going into your 9th house. This is an interesting place because the 9th house is your spirituality. You could be feeling very much more spiritual. You may become more interested in astrology, the metaphysics, the esoteric. And it's joining Uranus, which is already in there, you see. Uranus is very inventive, very creative, nonconformist, unique. You might have some brilliant flashes of insight around spirituality. This house also relates to travel and foreign connections, or even, with Venus going in there, if you're thinking about going overseas, you could even meet someone and become romantically involved. So that's why I've put foreign surprises, because Uranus does tend to be very unpredictable and bring up things that you would never anticipate. But with Venus, these unexpected surprises are likely to be very pleasant. So it could be an unexpected overseas trip. It could mean that you meet a new lover, if that's what you're looking for. It could be an appreciation of beauty and art. You go overseas, or you can't become very interested in European art, for example, or Indo-Chinese art, or whatever. And it's likely to be something unusual associated with it, and unusual circumstances, and weird and wonderful people as well. Okay, so on the 17th, Mercury joins Neptune in your 7th house. Here's Mercury here. And the sun's there for a few days and Neptune's there for a fair while. So with the god of messages going into your 7th house, this is likely to be about your committed relationships or your partnerships. It could be work colleagues that you work very closely with, or business partners. It could be your husband or your romantic partner in some way. With Neptune, you could have a very spiritual connection, a very spiritual bond with these people. However, the other thing to be careful of with Neptune in this situation here, you may not see exactly what the other person is doing or who they really are. Neptune can also bring delusions or illusions. So you think you're hearing the message correctly that the person is sending you, but you're not getting it correctly, or there's some sort of illusion around what's going on here. The 20th sees the sun go into your 8th house here, and that's sorry that's to do with other people's money. So you could become very aware of an opportunity. It could be a loan, it could be inheritance or superannuation or taxation. Superannuation in Australia, or 401k in the US. And so there may be some opportunities there. It could bring happiness as well when it goes into here. It's also about intimacy. You may become aware of your intimacy needs, what you need, and decide you're going to go out and get what you need. Okay, but yes, certainly brings inside awareness and happiness. On the 22nd, Saturn moves into your 6th house here, from the 5th into the 6th house. So this could bring, some people say, Saturn restrictions, obstacles, delays. It also brings structure, organisation. And this is your house of your everyday work, your well-being, your health. So Saturn could actually bring you some sort of health regime, a detox system where you have to, do certain things at certain times. Saturn's not sort of freewheeling. Saturn likes to have everything organised and timed out, and, things running to plan. So you could go for more conventional or traditional type medicine, and it could also affect your everyday work and your habits. You might get into a routine and get more structure into your life if you've just been sort of playing it loose day by day and see what comes up. Saturn will help you get into a routine. Now the new moon comes into your 8th house here of other people's money and intimacy. This brings a new beginning, a new start for you, and you may become, with that new starts, you might become more interested in sex or hidden things. The truth comes out, other people's money, maybe you want a loan or something like that as well. So this is shared resources with other people, and the new moon brings you a new start. On the 31st of the month, we have Mars going into your 6th house here, and that's likely to bring you a lot of motivation and passion and inspiration to improve your everyday routine, your habits. And with Saturn there, they're probably going to possibly work together so that you can get very structured about eating at the right times, going to sleep at the right time, getting enough rest, doing all the things you need to do just to function on a daily level. Okay, so let's have a look at your tarot now. So I'm just going to remove that and these, and we're going to go week by week, vivacious Virgos. See what comes up for the first week for Virgo in March 2020. Just looking for the right card. That one will be fine. Closing my eyes now. I've got the sensation of the ocean, and this is a fish. It feels very fishy. It could be that something smells fishy, and so there's something not quite right and you're a bit suspicious about something. Or it could be that it's a sign of because the fish is a sign of the subconscious. That's what the early Christians used to communicate with each other. Okay, but let's see. Okay, we come up with a Knight of Swords. This is really about broadening your horizons and your thinking. You could be thinking a lot more about getting out and about and taking the big picture, moving forward. Perhaps you're thinking of a new business idea or a new job or some way you can improve your life, but it is all about the thinking, the decision making, the analysing, dissecting, classifying, and cutting out what doesn't suit you in life. Okay, but here he is on an eagle's back. So freedom is important, freedom to choose in the first week of March. And now let's have a look at the second week for Vivacious Virgos. Vivacious Virgos, going to go with that one. The feeling, I get a sort of happier feeling. I mean, that's not unhappy, by the way. That's just like Mars motivation, going forward, out, into the world and that sort of thing. But I get a light, happy feeling. Closing my eyes now and concentrating on Virgo March, second week of March 2020. Okay, so I can see something here, and again it is like a fish, but it's got its mouth open. I reckon there's messages coming up to you about your subconscious, okay? Dreams, meditations, reflections, self-development might be more important at this time. All right, and we come up with the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, this is about you being rewarded for the work that you do. And when I say work, it doesn't necessarily mean paid work. It could be just what you spend your time on, but there's a very spiritual aspect to this. Okay, this is about your creativity and really being in touch with your spirit and what you're supposed to do. Action needs to be taken and you need to express yourself. See all the blue she's wearing here, and you're expressing yourself through work of some kind. It could also be creative hobbies, maybe it's making YouTube videos, but there's money coming to you. Okay, so if you're not in the situation where you're being paid for something, you might reassess whether that's right for you to do, because money is supposed to be tied with this. Pentacles, very earthly sort of sign about your possessions and your values and on a physical level, and that generally means finances. So you should be paid appropriately for the craftsmanship. This is about craftsmanship basically in the second week. Okay, so that's good. Moving to the third week of the month now for Vivacious Virgos. Third week of the month. Going to go with that one. Closing my eyes now. I have the sense of an owl, which is wisdom and intuition. And the owl is not easy to see. It's dark, it's in the trees, but you must trust that your intuition is there and it is trying to tell you things. It's just a matter of listening, okay, paying attention. All right, this is the Six of Cups. This is all about abundance and happiness, okay? So this lass here, she has all these cups with flowers coming out of them. I don't know if you can see that in front of her, flowers coming out of the cups. So I was talking here about being paid, and this is, see all the flowers here swinging back and forth, and it's just generally a joyful, abundant type of card, okay? A lot of green, a lot of growth and opportunity with it in the third week of the month. Now let's look at the fourth week for vivacious Virgos. See what we can come out with. Going with that one. Closing my eyes. Got the sensation of water. Trickling water, flowing water. It's not the ocean, but it's about vitality and well-being. There's a wellspring of vitality deep down within you, even if you don't feel it. It is there in your subconscious. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get in touch with the vitality within. Okay, so the water I see are the living waters, the life force. Okay, you do have one. Yeah. So the goal is to get in touch with it and increase it. All right, and the card we've got here is the Four of Wands. You see this blue-green in the background. That's about, it's aqua actually. So it's about opportunities and desires, things that you love coming up for expression. And see all those green plants? That's about opportunity and growth. See the grapes there? That's reward. And solar plexus, it's like you've done some good things recently, and you know you should be proud of yourself, and you know this is about increasing your self-esteem. Just reflect on your life in the, you know, towards the end of the month. Reflect on your life and the good job that you've done, because this is very goal-oriented behavior, and you can work towards something using the inspiration from deep down within. Okay, so it could be a special project, could be a job. It's something that, you know, makes your heart sing, and you can work towards it. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Now, the last few days of the month of March for vivacious Virgos. Going with that one. Closing my eyes. Okay, I see a tent, and it's more about the shape. It's a pyramid shape, and this is about your chakras. So cleaning out your chakras, having a bit of a spiritual detox. There could be some travel here, and we did talk about, back here, we did talk about the 9th house. There with Venus joining Uranus in the 9th house. So I'm seeing tents, which is like going camping. So this could relate to travel and foreign countries and things like that. All right, so we've got the Four of Cups. This is likely to be to do with relationships, because there's a big red rose here, and it's cups. It's your emotions. Okay, so there could be, if you're not in a relationship, you could meet somebody. Again, I'm getting the vibe about there's foreign connections associated with it. There's white roses here in the cups, suggests spiritual, there's a spiritual connection, a purity or something very wholesome about it. There's gold here, the solar plexus, fatherhood figures. Someone that you meet could be like your father in some way, in a positive way. Okay, the good side of your father. There's green here, opportunities and growth, and Spirit is here handing a cup to this lady. So a cup of vitality. You know, often it is about the living waters. Okay, and see these roses growing, and I don't know if you can see, but they're all in the ocean here. There's a headland at the back, so earth at the back here. And then all this is water that the roses are springing out of the ocean, which doesn't normally happen because obviously ocean is salty. But the living waters of your subconscious are going to give you some opportunities to do with relationships at the end of the month. Okay, so that's your tarot reading. Now you'll see there that there's some swords, there's pentacles, there's cups, there's wands. It's a really balanced sort of month for you in terms of all the suites, the card suites, okay, the tarot suites of the deck. Okay then. All right. I do hope you found that helpful. Please leave me a comment and let me know, does this relate to you in any way? And if so, how? What's going on in your life? I would love to know. And thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate your support. Leave a like if it's helped you, share and care, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. But most importantly, have a wonderful month and be kind. Okay, thank you and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.